Very sad story. A North Carolina cop shoots a man 5 times. He literally calls for backup and shoots the unarmed man again. Let's put up a picture of the unarmed man that he shot. Okay, let's put it up full mass. His name was Brandon Combs. Brandon Combs was 29 years of age. The picture you're looking at is Combs at a Charlotte area amusement park, with his daughter. His daughter's name is Allison. They took this picture last summer. Mr. Combs was shot and killed by Concord police in 2022, February. Police had initially described the shooting as a result from a physical confrontation at a car dealership where Combs was trying to steal a truck. So that's the initial report. Attorneys for Brandon Combs' mother, Virginia, said they were in utter disbelief after being shown the video of the shooting last week, news outlets reported. The attorneys called on officials to release the footage to the public and charge the officer involved. But Miss Virginia's attorneys say the footage shows that no struggle ever occurred between Combs and the officer. The officer, his name is Timothy Larson. Timothy Larson, according to the attorney, decided to open fire. Instead, they said it shows a short foot chase that ended when Combs got into the driver's seat of Larson's police SUV. They said the officers shot Combs 5 times, called dispatch, and then shot him again. They did not specify how much time elapsed between the 5th and 6th shots. A spokesperson for the police department did not immediately return a phone call or respond to an email seeking comment on Tuesday. And they're doing this thing that they typically do, hide the pickle. They don't want you to know information about the officer, pictures, etc. So we do something here. We go ahead and give you a face of the person in charge. So put up the chief. This is the Concord chief of police. His name is Gary Gachek. All right, that's the face of this story until we know who the officer is fully, or officers that were involved. Civil rights attorney Harry Daniels, who happens to be a dear friend of mine, Daniels told the Charlotte Observer that it was one of the worst police shooting videos he has ever seen, and that Combs' death has not gotten the attention it deserves because police presented the shooting as an open and shut case. Let's put up the picture of the DA. The DA would be in charge of prosecuting this case if she decides to move and do so, all right? Now, her name is Roxanne Van Nickhoven. Daniels and other attorneys called on the DA to charge Officer Larson with a crime or take the case before a grand jury for a possible indictment. The State Bureau of Investigation, which investigated the shooting, sent findings to the DA earlier this month. In other words, the DA already has all of the evidence. Now, I actually believe Harry Daniels. Not only do I know him as an attorney, I've been friends with Harry Daniels for about 15 years. When Harry Daniels looks at a video and he says it's one of the worst police shootings he's ever seen, he's telling the truth. We need to see that video. So we're gonna put public pressure because he's right. This story has not received the national attention it deserves. We're gonna do that. We wanna make sure that there's justice for Mr. Combs and his family. We wanna make sure that there's someone held accountable for the death of this individual who should be alive. This man, the extermination of his life means that his children, his family, they are all impacted. And when you have someone that close to you dies, believe me, I know, there's a death inside of you too. It impacts us all. All right, Rick, thoughts on this?
So there's usually a tell with a lot of these cases, Doc, and that is when you have nothing to hide, you will present it.
That's right.
If they have something to hide, then they will hide it. Thus, the body cam video has not been released. We know why it has not been released. It is because it would be another example of police brutality and a grave injustice to the fears that every Americans have of modern day, not even modern day, of policing in general. We have seen, and John Oliver did a great piece about 2 years ago on just policing. And that's when a lot of America was introduced to a man named Dave Grossman. who does a lot of seminars on why lethal force is necessary. Their officers attend these seminars on their own accord if they wish. They receive no pushback whatsoever. And we have seen how the training has failed time and time again. This officer lied. He did not answer prepared questions. And then he also told his chief of police that he basically deceived the truth. And there is a quote here from the attorney that said, we didn't hear Officer Larson say he was threatened. We didn't hear him say he was afraid for his life. We didn't hear him say he tried to attack me, as in Combs. He didn't even say he put his hand on me and I had to defend myself. We didn't hear any of that. It's because it didn't occur.
Right.
And the reason, again, as I wrap up and put a bow on this, why we will likely not see it for some time is because it is so egregious that he shot this man multiple times, called for backup, called dispatch, what have you, and then shot him again. I don't know if he thinks that he is like in a movie, this is like modern day Training Day or something, but the way that he went about this should bring some sort of case against him. It just should.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the other part. And you don't really need reform to hold cops accountable. You don't need new laws to hold them accountable. Lying on a police report is a crime. Lying on a police report can get you a felony charge of violating your oath of office if they choose to. And it has upheld in other jurisdictions. If other officers were involved and they knew about it, there are charges that can be allocated to them because of what's called duty to intervene. What's happening is literally, it comes down to prosecutorial discretion, where these particular elected prosecutors are unwilling to apply the actual and absolute law as it relates to law enforcement.